Here we are, back in the action, ready to rock and roll. Game 2 in this best of 3 between Welmu and BratOK. Spawning here in the lower right corner. However, the red Terran player, BratOK. Just finished talking about him. And his butt in the upper left, up 1-0 in this best of 3. It is NrS's Welmu. And for those who don't understand what's going on right now, this is the Dreamhack Open Qualifier. This is live. These games are not done through replays. These are going on right freaking now. You guys can check out the brackets. They're available on Twitter. And if you ask in chat, I'm sure somebody will link them to you. One of the big things, of course, going on right now is, for those who don't understand the format of Dreamhack, you know, there's Dreamhack Summer, Valencia, Bucharest, probably others that I'm not naming, but the point is they all don't say that word. They accumulate, there we go, down to one giant finale, which is known as Dreamhack Winter. And of course, you need like top finishes in the previous Dreamhacks to get automatic invites to Winter, the grand finale of it all. However, they're holding these open online qualifier brackets to help suss it out, get bigger brackets, make it an even bigger, better event than it's going to be. And it's already going to be an amazing event when you consider it's the top players in all the previous tournaments competing once again. So these guys are struggling for it. There is going to be another qualifier from my understanding, guys. This is only qualifier number 1. So maybe BratOK goes out here, maybe Welmu goes out here, who knows? They've got another chance, but this is their tournament life. This is the round of 64. And if either player gets knocked out, they're done for today. But okay, Splatty will block him down here. BratOK gonna keep that probe in base. Damn it, I just timed out Partoof by accident. Hang on. Unban Partoof. So, quick thing here, guys, real quick. Oh, gets the probe. Nicely done. No first blood because I'm a terrible. If you guys got something to say in chat, let me just put this out there real quick, not to take away too much from the game. Constructive criticism is welcome at BratOK TV. I want to improve, and I can't do that without advice. And if you guys come in and you say, like, look, you did this wrong because of X, because of Y, you know, then I can improve upon it. But if you just come in and say this guy sucks, it leads nowhere, does nothing good, and just breeds negativity. And BratOK TV is all about positivity. So if you guys have something to say, phrase it in a way that's at least constructive. Hey Rifkin, you suck. It's not as good as hey Rifkin, you suck because you missed the 10 pool or something like that. So please, 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 guys, if you're gonna be a BratOK TV, keep the chat cool, keep it awesome, and of course the #1 rule is don't be a dick. But getting back into the game, Mothership Core is coming out, and of course the natural expansion is being taken right now by Welmu. Third base, though, already coming out for BratOK. Holy moly, let's talk about this, guys. This was a barracks first, no gas, into a typical expansion, into a really quick third on location. Now, this third command center is not crazy in and of itself. Typically, you have a third command center in base. Not an issue. But on location is really ballsy out of BratOK, but I guess he's going to be playing off the fact that Welmu shouldn't expect this. Nobody should expect this base to be down, so maybe Welmu won't even see it for quite some time. But with the Marines marching out in the field, 5 are going to be more than enough to really get on top of this. Mothership Core won't be an issue. Zealot can be kited. These Marines are going to be really strong, and yeah, Welmu's going to turn around immediately. Doesn't want to have to deal with this at all. But lots of barracks coming down behind this. BratOK finally getting his gases slightly delayed. The problem with doing this, of course, means your medevac will be out significantly later. And Welmu's doing what he did in Game 1, where he's getting that quick robo facility, which means he'll have that quick Colossus on the field. BratOK may, if he senses this is coming, try and hit significantly early. The idea is if you pull SCVs before there's any area of effect on the field, if there's no Archons, no Storms, no Colossus, SCVs actually work incredibly well. However, the problem remains that if it gets to the point where Colossus get on the field, BratOK is going to be in a world of hurt. We saw it happen last game. That big engagement at the end. Definitely more credit to Welmu's positioning than his army composition, but his army composition already was a way to sort of counter what BratOK had on the field. And his factory coming down. That third base, mining away, something that really shouldn't be available this early in the game. But, you know, this little econ boost, this could be exactly what he needs. If like beforehand, he struggled. Like both players were on par, right? So no harassment meant one big engagement and nothing coming down. But if BratOK's able to produce Marines and throw them away in a fashion that the economy allows him to, then he'll be able to keep his opponent at bay, keep him harassed, keep poking away at him. But it's, yeah, just, I don't know. Oh, I'm being corrected. Okay, so I misunderstood what was going on before. Qualifier number 2 is just the round of 16 and up. So it's not another chance for players to continue. This is just, that's kind of like part 2. Not qualifier number 2, but more like qualifier part 2. So my apologies in that regard. I misunderstood the format of this before. Again, we jumped literally from the Acer Team Story Cup into casting this, so I didn't really get a briefing of how these things work. Thank you, though, chat, for doing the research and the due diligence. Really unfortunate, though, BratOK wasted a scan there to get that observer, wasn't able to pick it off. Has Welmu yet seen that third base? No. Oh, gosh. This is a little bit funny, to be honest. I really want to see if that third base comes into play or not. I really think that the economy from that third base is going to allow BratOK to push significantly earlier than last game. Oh, let me go fix that real quick. Didn't realize part 2 plus mod. He's like #1 mod. There we go. Anyways, lots of Marines on the field. We got Stim coming out. Medevac's going to be out significantly earlier than last game. Third base was now scattered. Welmu's kind of like, oh, when did that get down there? One Marine checking the location, making sure Welmu doesn't take his own expansion. But of course, won't be able to tell for long. Probably will have a good idea, though, seeing the probe with this army. Scan goes down for BratOK. Where did it go down? In the main. Scans everything on the field except for the double forges and the Robo Bay, which is kind of the important tech to scout. But one great thing would be if BratOK could attack the right side of the map, draw the army over, and drop on top of the forges, kill the upgrades, he would be in such a good spot this game. Because armor upgrades, it shuts Marines down so hardcore. Forget Colossus, forget anything else. Zealots with armor running into Marines with no weapon upgrades, very devastating, I think is the best way to describe that. But Welmu, oh dear, oh dear. I don't know, Welmu's in a really good spot just by having the Colossus out in the field, period. The positioning, of course, is going to be incredibly important and really relevant, but this Bioforce, without that Thermal Lance, it can stim into them. Force fields will have to be good, but there's only 2 Colossus. Check the upgrades. Yeah, no Thermal Lance just yet, still on the way. I could have looked there if I was paying more attention, but Marine gonna chip right at this pylon. Sadly, another pylon coming down here. Well, not sadly, I guess good for Welmu, but sadly for BratOK. Dropping into the main could be a bit of a risky decision because he doesn't know what's waiting for him, right? Like, the positioning of the army is the really key thing. The factory is floating here awkwardly above the third, but that doesn't tell him much. He needs to know what army is on the field. Like, if BratOK knew there was only 2 Colossus and, like, nothing to support them, I think we would have seen this Marauder stim forward by now. But because he's kind of working in the unknown, a harassment attack coming here at the third, this is actually... BratOK is missing out on his window of opportunity. Thermal Lance is now finishing up, so Colossus will be able to engage a little bit easier. And here we go, shelling away. Yeah, Rifkin is a bad guy checking chat. When I'm solo casting, I don't have a partner to catch my back. I gotta rely on you guys to make sure I'm not messing up the stream or something. So I do occasionally glance over. Normally, I have chat off entirely when I'm casting with someone else because I don't have to worry about that. But again, solo casting, not my forte. Forced to kind of multitask all over the place. Okay, I don't know. Ghosts are going to be necessary, of course, in any TVP matchup. BratOK is one of those players who really enjoys the Ghost Viking endgame composition and uses it to great effect. But the problem is, at the rate he's going, he might not get a chance to. If he just keeps laying back like this, it's going to be very difficult. The army supply is so heavily in his favor, but he's not able to take advantage of that in any way, shape, or form. And of course, as he continues to move out, Welmu keeps constructing pylons across the other side of the field. He'll be able to keep warping in Zealots and be just incredibly annoying. Where are the Perdition turrets, Terran? Can we get that buff, please, David Kim? Anyways, Marauder's going to try and get in here. Colossus forced to back away from the Vikings initially. BratOK is, of course, going to want to stim this army back, but force fields go down. He's got to pick them up. Oh, he doesn't pick them up. He needs these Marauders so desperately badly. The last Viking is about to go down. Colossus still standing, but still standing. It's going to allow the bow to try and push forward. There's no more force fields to keep them at bay, but the Colossus are doing a great job with their hit-and-run tactics. Time Warp, of course, making it very difficult for BratOK to just keep stimming in there. And third Colossus coming out a bit awkwardly, perhaps. If BratOK was paying a little more attention, could have capitalized on that. But it looks like a drop's going to be heading off to the third base while this is going on. Wants to try and tear the army of Welmu in half. Okay, well, coming up here to the third. Drops going off in the main. Is this going to be enough? The army of Welmu posturing. Doesn't know which one to respond to. Warpin's coming in at the third. This should open a door of opportunity. A window, rather, of opportunity for BratOK to go into the natural, but not capitalizing on that. Feedback did go off and I guess killed the BratOK. And Colossus... Oh, they're going to take some shelling from the Vikings. Still no storms on the field, though, guys. So these TIE Templar are not too much of a threat outside of their feedback. But resources lost, looking pretty bad here for BratOK. Not able to capitalize on this. Forced to back away from these Archons one more time. 9 kills on this. Oh, so many kills on the Colossus as well. Not looking too good for our Terran player. That third base economy was supposed to win him the game, but he's having some trouble capitalizing with it. No concussive shells on the Marauders, also making this very difficult to kite away from the Zealots. Big hits going off, though, nonetheless. Archon's going to continue pressing the issue, and again, no ghosts just yet. A couple ghosts actually now just joining the army. But without Mobius Reactor, he doesn't have the energy to EMP. This was a great bonus damage versus the Zealots, but that's it for the time being. Meanwhile, looks like a Zealot run by Ian here at the third. Freshly dropped mules. A bunker should be able to hold this. But BratOK has no aggression going on to the other side of the field. And it's coming up on 3-3 upgrades for our Protoss player as BratOK finishes up 2-2. This is all around looking rough for our Terran player, but he's not out of this game yet. With some good EMPs, some great engagements, he could still be in this game, but right now it's looking dicey. I don't know. I really fear that if BratOK sits back for too much longer, like you never want to let. What? Build a Widow Mine, BratOK. Build a Widow Mine. Put it in the mineral lines. Yes. He can't actually hear me, but it's as if my thoughts they reached him. So this is kind of a cute thing to do this stage of the game. Nothing too big. But what this will do is really, it'll hurt the mining a lot. And if you wait till he gets 2 Widow Mines, it'll be even better because Welmu's, he's not going to get the initial attack message like, oh, your units are under attack, as long as the Widow Mine's not burrowed. If he gets 2 of them, burrows them at the same time, he will knock out this entire mineral line instantaneously. But if he burrows one immediately, it'll be, the alert will go off and Welmu will probably pull probes and, oh, don't go off. No. Such a bad spot. Okay, good hit. 6 kills. Nicely done with the Widow Mine. I was afraid that it would hit one of the ones, if you guys don't know, if a Widow Mine shoots a probe that's going into the geyser, it doesn't die and the attack disappears and the Widow Mine goes on a cooldown. But okay, 3-3. Oh, actually 3-3 going to be a big problem. There's only 3 weapon upgrades are coming out here for a Terran player. Big EMPs do blanket the initial part of this army. Luckily, there's no storms for them to hit, so as long as they take out the Archons, that's all that matters. But, oh, the Archons are not going down despite the beautiful EMPs, and BratOK going for a drop of the natural, actually, while this is going on. Nicely done, getting behind enemy lines, but good game is called nonetheless. Welmu will secure victory, moving on in the tournament. So BratOK will go down 0-2 to Welmu. A little bit sad to see that happen, but we will try to get into another game, guys. Don't go anywhere. Back in a moment. And for the record, yeah, we're going to run a couple ads real quick while we search for a game, because this is not your typical tournament. These are not your typical games, and it's kind of difficult getting into them, so we got a bit of downtime. Thanks for sticking with us, though, and of course, if you guys are enjoying my broadcasting, if you're enjoying the quality of the stream, you can hit me up on Twitter. It's underneath my name here, my Super Saiyan Gosu picture, at Riff_Kings on Twitter.